All right, lesson number 2, which is rationalizing radicals. Hopefully you guys are all good with multiplying and dividing radicals. You also have to be good with the simplifying radicals that we did before all of this kind of happened, before the teacher strike and such. Yeah, let's get into it.
All right, everybody, here we go. Rationalizing radicals. So, when we rationalize radicals, basically what we're doing is we're making sure that there are no radicals in the denominator. And hopefully you remember. I don't know if you guys heard that. It was my cat. Did a little purring sound. So, denominator is the bottom of the fraction. So, to rationalize, what we're going to do is we're going to multiply the numerator, the top part of the fraction, and the denominator by the same radical. And we're going to be intentional about which radical we choose. And it's going to be the one that's in the bottom of the fraction, in the denominator. So let's do this first example. What we're going to do is we're going to purposefully choose to multiply both the bottom and the top by the square root of 5. And here's why. When we do that, the top part is just going to be 3 radical 5, but the bottom part is going to be radical 25. And I did that, I chose 5 because I know that the square root of 25 is just 5. So here I've got my radical 5 times radical 5. I could really just skip from this step here to this step here. I don't have to do this middle step because I know that I'm going to get a perfect square anyway. So I just usually skip from there to there. So my 3 radical 5 over 5. So for the notes, I'm going to write multiply by the radical in the denominator. I just needed to pause here and show you what I'm dealing with here. Right next to me it's my cat Paco. He's just sitting here watching me teach you math, breathing kind of hard sometimes. He's very interested. No, don't bite that. Anyway, back to the notes. Okay, Paco, stop. He's trying to sit in my lap now. No, not right now. Okay, so for this next example, what do you think we're going to choose for our radical here? Well, if you said 2, you are correct, because that's the one that's in the denominator. So again, with our radicals, these are 7 and the 2 are both inside the radical, so I can multiply those. And then radical 2 times radical 2 is going to be radical 4, but again, I'm going to skip that middle step, and I'm just going to write 2 without any radicals. And then I think to myself, well, can I simplify radical 14? I cannot, so I'm going to stop there. So my notes in here are going to be multiply radicals with radicals. All right, next example. This one, you might be a little confused. You're like, well, what should I multiply by 3 root 5 again? Well, you actually only have to do the radical part. So we're only going to multiply by radical 5. The top part will be radical 40. The bottom part will be 3 times 5, which is 15. And then I think to myself, can I simplify radical 40? Yes, I can, because that's radical 4 times radical 10. 4 is a perfect square. So I just have 2 radical 10 over 15. So my notes here are going to say, make sure you simplify. Simplify all radicals, if possible. All right, and then the last one here, again, hopefully you are catching on. We're going to multiply by radical 50. So we've got 2 radical 50 over 50. Can I simplify radical 50? Can we think of a perfect square that goes into it? Yes. So I think of radical 25. Because 50 is 25 times 2. So that would be 2 times 5 radical 2 over 50. I can multiply the 2 times the 5, which is 10 radical 2 over 50. And then the last little bit here, guys, is if we have a fraction of coefficients that can be reduced or simplified, we need to do that. So 10 over 50 is the same as 1 over 5, but I'm just going to write the 5. I don't need to write the 1 because that's kind of redundant. Okay, so my notes here are to make sure you simplify the coefficients if possible. Coefficients if possible. Cool. So there's 6 examples down here for you to try on your own. I'm going to post a picture of the answers so you can see if you're doing it correctly. So good luck, and let me know if you have any questions. Check in with me during office hours or email me to set up a time. All right?